What if this offseason's final Lakers move isn't just about filling a spot on the roster, but about setting the fragile dominoes of destiny in motion? What if the choice between signing one more player or standing pat could determine whether we rise again or spiral into heartbreak once more? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama. Now, here's where the saga stands. The Lakers have already made some quiet waves signing Jake LaRavia, re-signing Jackson Hayes, bringing in DeAndre Ayton, and drafting a promising sophomore named DJ. However, are they truly done assembling their squad for a title chase, or is there still a coup brewing behind the scenes? I don't believe the front office has closed the book just yet. Despite some immediate assumptions that the roster, sitting at 15 players now, is locked in, the Lakers hold a secret ace, Shake Milton's non-guaranteed contract. By waiving Milton, they can clear space and dip back under to 14, leaving room to bring in one more splash from the free agent pond. To me, it's not if they pull the trigger again, it's when the stakes couldn't be higher because every move from here feels like threading a needle amid escalating pressure, a gamble between finalizing a championship-caliber core or settling for mediocrity masked in potential. So, picture this. They waive Milton, roll the dice on the open market, and suddenly, the question becomes who fits in this high-stakes puzzle. Surprisingly enough, my top 6 targets spanning point guard to center fall into distinct positional slots, reflecting a roster that still harbors unresolved holes and strategic gambles. Starting at point guard, Ryan Rollins emerges as a ghost quietly haunting the fringes of bigger markets. A third-year pro from Toledo, not exactly a household basketball factory, Rollins played sparingly for Golden State, Washington, and most recently Milwaukee, yet that obscurity could be hiding a diamond in the rough. Reports hint the Lakers may leverage their roughly $5.1 million biannual exception to pry Rollins away from the Bucks, enticing him with potentially double the veteran minimum offer that Milwaukee is expected to match. Why consider this kid? First, despite limited minutes, about 15 per game last season, Rollins packs a rare 6 feet 10 inches wingspan over a 6'3" inches frame. A defensive mismatch nightmare who's capable at both point and shooting guard roles. His 41% three-point shooting and staggering 48% accuracy from the corner last year show he can stockpile points when given space. While defensively, he's nothing to sneeze at either, averaging roughly 2 steals per 36 minutes, a palpable pest who could disrupt opposing offenses. There's untapped promise here, and the Lakers seem to have taken notice, especially if they contemplate moving Gabe Vincent and need a fresh athletic spark in the backcourt. But if treading the waters of youth makes you uneasy, the Lakers have another intriguing piece of their puzzle, D'Anthony Milton. Milton's story is riddled with frustration, a defensive ace with a sprawling 6'8" wingspan who's been relentlessly sidetracked by injury, including an ACL tear that sidelined him for most of last season and stunted his momentum. Yet, when healthy, Milton puts up solid numbers averaging over 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, sprinkled with 1.5 steals, all while shooting nearly 38% from 3 over his career, with an even snappier 42% from the corners. This guy's the quintessential 3-and-D juggernaut, the kind of gritty defensive stalwart who can guard multiple positions and knock down clutch triples, an archetype desperately needed alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis. Lakers fans are clamoring for durability, with Milton's health remaining the only wild card. Between Rollins' potential upside and Milton's proven reliability, when on the court, these two are the front runners to replace Milton. Whichever path the Lakers take could shape their backcourt's identity, a youthful gamble or a veteran insurance policy. But suppose the Lakers keep Vincent, and by extension, don't address the point of attack with urgency. Then the spotlight shifts to the wing, a domain where defense and size are currency. There's Cody Martin, an under-the-radar free agent thanks to Phoenix Suns' salary cap struggles. Last season, Martin posted a modest stat line, 7 points a game, 22 minutes, and a disappointing 28.5% from three, a far cry from the 38.4% he shot 2 years earlier. Still, Martin's defensive prowess can't be overstated. He registered a career-high plus 1.1 defensive BPM and averaged roughly 2 steals per 36 minutes, demonstrating disruptive capabilities on that end. Consistency off the offensive end will be the key for him playing alongside creators like LeBron and D'Angelo Russell, but his defensive versatility guarding smaller and mid-sized wings makes him a tantalizing piece. Health remains a concern. He played only 53 games last year, but at this point, the Lakers might have to accept imperfections in exchange for a glue guy. If Cody Martin isn't a fit, Amir Coffey emerges a less physical but capable defender. With dependable shooting, Coffey boasts a career 38.4% three-point clip and an exceptional 41.9% from the corner, including a scorching 46.2% on corner threes last season. While his defense isn't elite, holding a roughly average defensive BPM of -0.2, he offers acceptable reliability and length at 6'7", with a 6'8" to 6'9" wingspan, ticking the boxes for a modern wing who can hit shots and hold his own. If he comes at a modest veteran minimum or biannual exception salary, he could be a crafty veteran shooter to space the floor. Then there's the forward line itself, often overlooked but crucial on a championship roster, where floor spacing and the ability to switch defensively make or break a run. Enter Chris Boucher, a 6'9" hybrid power forward center with a massive 7'4" wingspan and the kind of offensive touch you crave in a modern big man. He's not a bruiser, roughly 200 pounds, so forget about banging in the paint butt. He's a skilled, floor-spacing force who averaged 10 points, 4.5 rebounds, and half a block per game last year while shooting an efficient 36.3% from three on high volume. We're talking nearly 8 attempts per 36 minutes, pretty remarkable for a big. His near 40% corner three-point shooting accentuates his shooter profile. Boucher can create his own shot, run the floor for lobs, and spread defenses thin, making him a promising upgrade over Maxi Kleber, who seems to have lost some luster in Lakers' eyes. Offensively versatile and defensively more reliable, Boucher fits the mold of a complementary bigman to share the front court spotlight with Davis and Ayton. Now, down at the center spot, where the Lakers already have Jackson Hayes locked in as the primary backup center, the quest for additional insurance feels more complicated. Veteran centers seem scarce, especially those willing to settle for reduced roles. But the Lakers have a slick alternative in Kai Jones, an athletic marvel with insane rim-running ability, capable of lighting up the floor in fast-break situations and finishing alley-oops with ease. Jones played about 40 games last season between the Clippers and Mavericks, averaging 5 points and 3 rebounds on roughly 80% field goal shooting most of his shots at the rim, an impressive testament to his explosiveness. As a potential two-way contract candidate, he offers a tempting upgrade over Trey Jemison or Christian Koloko. Jones brings raw athleticism, tantalizing upside, and timeline alignment to the Lakers' needs, fitting naturally with a young timetable, and complementing the skill sets of superstars like LeBron and Luka Doncic-like creators. If he doesn't secure a better offer elsewhere, signing him on a two-way could be a no-brainer, injecting youth and energy into the thin center rotation. For those hoping for a familiar veteran presence at the 5, names like former Laker Thomas Bryant or Precious Achiuwa float in the background as possibilities, but with backup center minutes likely locked by Hayes, snagging a veteran role player of that caliber feels unlikely. Playing time and impact would be limited, and the Lakers seem to lean more on developmental upside in this front court depth battle. Now, with all these tantalizing options floating just beyond the horizon, the real question that stings the purple and gold heart is what it all means for the identity of the team and the season ahead. Will the front office gamble on the youthful? upside of Rollins or Kai Jones, invigorating the roster spirit but flirting with the risk that unproven talent may falter under playoff pressure? Or will they hedge on veterans like Milton and Martin, sturdy bridge players whose health and consistency carry their own weight, but may come with injury concerns and a limited upside ceiling? Every signing is a piece of a larger puzzle, a whisper of ambition or compromise from an organization whose patience has worn thin and whose mantle now bears the weight of LeBron's twilight years and a D's quest for elusive health. And let's not forget the human element. Shake Milton's impending release looms not just as a contractual chess move, but a gut-wrenching decision that ripples through locker room dynamics and team chemistry. No move in this moment is just a transaction. It's a statement of intent echoing through the fan base's collective soul, reminding us that this franchise, steeped in decades of heartbreak and glory, is once again walking a razor's edge. As a lifelong Lakers fan, I can't help but feel that the choices made now, these seemingly small calculations amid free agency whispers and hidden clauses, carry monumental consequences. Listen, if you're feeling anything at all right now, buzzing with the electric tension of yet another precarious Lakers off-season crossroads, then lean in hard. Because this moment demands not just attention but fire. The kind of fire that burns through frustration, through doubt, through every off-season snub and every sea of false hope we've weathered before. We're not just talking basketball. We're talking about legacy. We're talking about the very soul of a franchise that has become a living myth, stitched into the fabric of every Angelino's heartbeat. And if you followed this roller coaster of rumors, glares, and clamoring whispers around the Lakers, like I have, you know this, nothing is ever just business with the purple and gold. Every signing, every cut, every whisper of who we bring in or let go unleashes shockwaves that reach all the way to LeBron James's place in history, to Anthony Davis's fragile quest for redemption, even to the hopes pinned on Bronny James stepping into this colossal spotlight someday. That Shake Milton move waiving him or keeping him is emblematic of the razor's edge. We walk as a franchise caught between nostalgia for past greatness and the desperate hunger for a future that doesn't just fade quietly into the night. You see, when you think about this team, it's impossible not to think big. LeBron's legacy is on the line here, not in some abstract sense, but in the raw, relentless Warriors definition kind of way. His twilight years have been shadowed by injuries, truncated nights, whispered doubts, casual dismissals. But Braun came to LA to build a new dynasty, not just chase memories of Miami or Cleveland peaks. NAD, the enigmatic mercurial giant, he's carrying the heft of expectations harder than anyone knows. Every decision, every roster addition, every ripple of front office tension feels like it either pulls them up or shreds their fragile momentum apart. Against that backdrop, adding the right piece becomes a seismic event, a possible Phoenix moment, or a slow boil into decline. And here's where the story gets even more tangled, because the Lakers are always more than the sum of their headlines. Take the front office, led by Jeannie Buss, whose stewardship of the franchise is both revered and contested. She's a heartbeat of continuity, the steward of the Buss family legacy. But whispers swirl about new billionaire interests circling like sharks around the Lakers brand. What happens if that balance of power shifts? Will we see a man with deep pockets and a hunger for spectacle disrupting the family's steady hand, injecting chaos, or perhaps the kind of deep-pocketed urgency this roster desperately needs? Because make no mistake, while Jeannie's legacy is monumental for holding the family and team through decades of turbulence, the Lakers' path forward feels like it might hinge on fresh blood, fresh ambitions, and maybe a stark new vision. Imagine if this season doesn't just test our patience for a roster shuffle, but becomes a crucible for power struggles we can't even see yet. Now take a breath and think about the kaleidoscope of Lakers history, because nothing in this moment exists in a vacuum. Remember the 1980s Showtime blazing across the hardwood with Magic Johnson's smile and fast break poetry. A team of artists whose swagger and charisma made basketball feel like a cultural revolution. That era wasn't just dominant. It was a cultural reset, a magnet for talent, and a symbol for the city itself. Then decades later, the early 2000s, three-peat duchy forged by Kobe and Shaq redefined dominance through grit, raw power, and unrelenting willpower. That team carved a path, soaked in physicality and relentless ambition, the kind of blueprint we covet now. Fast forward to 2010 when the Lakers claimed revenge over Boston and the Celtics' shadow, rekindling the fire and tying up decades of rivalry and heartbreak in one explosive moment. And of course, we'll never forget the 2020 bubble banner delivered. In isolation, pandemic-era purgatory, a triumph that reminded the world the Lakers could still rise from ashes, still claw through adversity. Yet here we are again, riding that razor's edge between the echoes of glory and a present steeped in questions that fester and grow every day. Can this team, as currently constructed, break the Warriors' chokehold on the West? With Golden State loaded, still lethal and hungry for more, Denver's rising stars glowing across the Rockies, and Phoenix phoenixing their way through the desert with a chip on their shoulder, the West feels, as always, like a relentless beast ready to devour any team that stumbles. The Clippers lurk too, a constant reminder that Los Angeles basketball dominance isn't guaranteed anymore, not even in our own backyard. And now, picture how dramatically the ripple effects of this all-season's choice could cascade across that brutal landscape. If the Lakers hit on an underdog like Rollins or the electric Kai Jones, could that spark ignite a new kind of small ball revolution in the West, forcing Golden State to recalibrate, pushing Denver to protect their perimeter more fiercely? Or if the Lakers double down on test-yourself veterans like Milton or Martin, will that stabilize the ship long enough to weather storm after storm? Or will it be a death knell that signals settling mediocrity dressed up in cautious optimism? I'm telling you, the psychological weight on this roster is suffocating right now. The locker room is a pressure cooker. Young guys like Austin Reeves, who've emerged as fan favorites and clutch performers, are staring down a potential identity crisis. Will they be given the leash and trust to explode, or smothered by the endless shuffle of roster experiments? The tension between the tried and true and the promising unknown is palpable, and every player feels the squeezing walls of championship expectation. Meanwhile, Bronny James looks on from the horizon, his future forever linked to the front offices. Decisions now. Will he step into an arena where the franchise is still grappling with chaos and uncertainty? Or will he inherit a legacy reignited by bold moves, by a clear, unflinching vision? His path is a glaring reminder that the Lakers' present isn't just about today. It echoes into tomorrow, into decades of Lakers lore being written anew. But what if all these moves don't come fast enough? What if the Lakers stand pat, clinging to the familiar but failing to address glaring holes? What if injuries yank AD back into old spirals? What if LeBron's body finally says enough? Because that's the cool undercurrent lurking beneath every all-season whisper. The clock is torrid, burning relentlessly. And if the Lakers miss their shot now, that's not just a failed roster. That's a fractured legend, a fractured city, a fan base gasping for breath. The ripple outwards would shake the entire Western Conference. That vacuum might let Phoenix run riot, let Denver seize the throne, or let Golden State slam the door shut on any hope of Lakers' resurgence for years to come. Or worse, it could sow discord within the team, fractures in the locker room diminishing, returns for everybody, and a hallowed franchise spiraling out of touch with greatness. So here's where I want to leave you burning tonight this offseason. This choice about Shake Milton, Rollins, Melton, Bouchy, Jones, Vincent, they are not mere decisions. They are declarations of identity. They are echoes from the past, shout-outs to the future, and the tinder for a powder keg that could erupt any day now. As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming. Either this moment will birth a phoenix that reignites our dynasty and shakes the West to its core, or it will reveal the opening cracks in the foundation that hasn't been this fragile since the dawn of the post-Kobe era. And that crushing uncertainty, is the kind of pulse-pounding tension that will haunt us all season long. Now I want to hear it from you. Drop your rawest take below. Every true believer in purple and gold, are we marching headlong into a fresh dynasty or staring down the slow unraveling of legends? Because this feels like a fork in the damn road that will define us not next year, not in 5 years, but forever.